Mr. President? The aide urgently said as he shook the President awake. The President tossed and turned for a second before tiredly opening his eyes. What is it? Is it about the climate conference? Aliens, sir. The President froze for a moment and then sat up, alert as ever. Peaceful? It does not appear so. Shit. He hopped out of bed and towards his closet. What is the situation? Look at the sky. The President turned back to the window and looked up. In the sky were several hundred bright, orbiting dots, illuminated by the yet-to-rise sun. He immediately turned back to his closet. Mr. President, you need to come with... I'm sure as hell not making first contact in this. The President hastily put on a suit. Why do we know? 4 minutes ago, our radars went crazy. Hundreds of spacecraft just popped into orbit out of nowhere. Moments later, we get a transmission from, presumably a high-ranking alien official, demanding to talk to our leader, or we would face the consequences. Well, at least we won't die from climate change. They are speaking in English? And Russian, Chinese, Spanish, Italian, Arabic, pretty much every major language. So they presumably know a lot about us by now. What do we know about them? The President and the aide exited the bedroom and into the halls, filled with bustling high-ranking officials. One handed the President the coffee. Not much. The aliens appear to be somewhat reptilian, bipedal with 4 arms, and they presumably severely outrank us technologically. Ground-based telescopes and the NRO satellites are currently assessing their fleet. A woman handed the President a folder. Hold this, he said, giving the aide the coffee and opening the folder, which was filled with preliminary, low-quality pictures of ships in the alien fleet. Oh boy. Mr. President, said the general, radar scans estimate some ships are several kilometers long. Energy emission is also high in the infrared wavelengths, suggesting high heat rejection, with a spike in several wavelengths right as they arrived. Thank you, General. Keep me posted. The trio turned the corner into the Situation Room, where, on the big screen, an imposing, green, scaly, 4-armed figure stood. At last, a leader, the being said in a sly, commanding tone. Good morning to you too. I assume by now you will have scanned our fleet enough to know you are no match for us. Tough to say, all we have are a few grainy pictures. One of the screens to the President's right switched to showing estimated fleet statistics. Ah, the numbers are coming right in now. Your International Space Station, Deep Space Gateway and Harmony of the Heavens combined are no match for even our smallest vessel, and your fleet of starships, dragons, and Orions would barely register. Sir, Putin will be joining the call, whispered an official. Roger. The President turned back to the alien. By our estimation, we are greatly outclassed in terms of space superiority. What is it that you want from humanity? Prompt unconditional surrender. The President's eyes narrowed. The display updated with better information, along with a higher detailed picture of one of the largest ships in the fleet, high resolution enough to resolve engines and weapons on the triangular hull. Curiously, however, a massive star-shaped shield could be seen orientated towards the sun. Russia will not surrender, Putin replied. You're in no position to negotiate, said the alien. An idea popped into the President's head. Why do you want our surrender? Asked the President. As you are in no position to negotiate, you are in no position to demand information from us. Not even your name? Neither of you have been so keen to volunteer yours. Well, tell me if I'm right. You know enough about us to be able to translate into any of our languages at will. You know enough to know the names of our space stations, and you know how to use our communication protocols. Several other world leaders trickled into the call. Most remained silent. Your protocols are simple and unsecure. A toddler could figure that out. Therefore, you should also know our history. How we can make war so brutal when we want to. The alien remained silent. The fleet analysis screen kept rapidly updating. Several battleships, curiously of many different types, punctuated by larger and smaller warships, and many of what appeared to be troop transports, comprised most of the fleet. You want to scare us into surrendering because you want to avoid a long drawn-out fight. If that didn't matter, you would have attacked already. You want... Mr. President, we are transferring the call to Air Force One. Please come with us. Hold on, General. You want this planet or something on it, and you want it cleanly. Am I right? If so, what does it matter? Shouted the alien. Sir, the alien spaceships are maneuvering into formation. The screen updated again with more information, which the President studied as quickly as possible. Because you are not getting it cleanly. The President motioned for one of his aides, who handed him a briefcase, which the President rapidly opened. The President input a code and held his hand over a button. Nuclear weapons. How quaint. Our ships could withstand magnitudes more. If you could even get close. Even if you did dent our fleet, we have thousands more mighty fleets ready to drop in. I'm not aiming for you. I'm aiming for Russia and China. Putin's eyes widened. Strategic locations, nuclear power plants, the whole lot. And invite Putin over there to do the same, but direct it at us. The fallout will render this planet effectively uninhabitable. You asked us if we had scanned your fleet, and we have. Those are radiation shields, aren't they? Pointed directly at the sun? And your body armor, it wouldn't stop the smallest of bullets. That's not armor, that's a spacesuit. One with a ton of shielding. My best guess is that you are terribly radiation sensitive. Bad news if we nuke the planet. Your assessment is incorrect. I don't see you correcting us. Putin pulled out his own nuclear briefcase. Russia's nuclear weapons are targeted at American infrastructure, nuclear plants, and the Yellowstone supervolcano. Our salty cobalt bombs are prepared to raise radiation levels to unacceptable levels. Our Poseidon bombs are prepared to create tsunamis that would wipe out major coastal cities. Wait, I thought we banned those, the President exclaimed. China's nuclear weapons are primed for launch, targeting various sites. United Korea's nuclear missiles are ready for liftoff. France's nuclear weapons are Britain's, India's, Pakistan's, Israel's. In short, said the President, we may not have the power to destroy you, but we have the power to destroy that thing you want. I believe we are now in a position to negotiate. So tell me, what is your name? The alien paused and considered. I am Shristifov Ryu. Shristifov is a rough approximation of your title, Admiral. Well, Admiral Ryu, welcome to Earth. If we don't get our way, you will most definitely not like it here. Our ships are ready to fire upon your cities. As are we. Now, tell us, Ryu, why have you come here? We seek to conquer and expand for the glory of the Empire. Alright. Why Earth in particular? There was a pause. We seek resources. If you did, you wouldn't have come here. For every place with life, there's a million more without. If you want resources, go ahead. You can have Venus if you want. There's several good asteroids out there I can think of. You misunderstood. We seek the unique, a world conductive to our life. Then head for the TRAPPIST system. Plenty of worlds that are a decent level of habitable out there with nobody to guard them. We have a full list of candidates. Only your planet is suitable for our life. Oh, come on, you've got thousands of mighty fleets, warp drives, ships dozens of kilometers long. Can't you just do some terraforming? The Empire is amazing at terraforming. Then tell us why. Why are you so averse to terraforming the TRAPPIST system instead? Or Mars, or Venus, or even fixing Earth after we nuke it to pieces? Can you terraform or can't you? Please, you put it in terms we can understand. Why Earth? Mr. President, said a general, look. The scan display had updated once more, and the fleet assessment was more or less complete. The President's eyes widened. He paused. Surrender or we will attack, shouted Ryu. We care not for your nuclear weapons. We shall terraform your world back anyway. You will face complete destruction and enslavement if you do not surrender. Who are you running from? The President asked. Ryu froze. We are not running. Look at your fleet. I see several battleships here and there and a ton of smaller warships, punctuated by a few larger ships, but you know what, Ryu? No two are the same. As if the fleet was thrown together from whatever ships you could find, and nearly all of them are damaged. Your largest ship has a gaping hole in the side, and several of your ships are visibly falling apart. And all those troop transports, they aren't transporting troops, are they? The fleet composition, the strategy, the damage. This is not a coherent invasion fleet, this is a refugee fleet, isn't it? Ryu was silent for several moments. The Empire was once the greatest known force in the galaxy. We prospered like no other. Waged war like no other. Waged peace like no other. Terraformed like no other. Innovated like no other. But then the Ierdis came. They came and slaughtered our children, decimated our planets. They defeated us. So you ran with whatever you had left. We are the only ones left. We ran and trying to find a world with the right conditions to rebuild. We were nearly out of fuel when we finally found this place, but you were there. You humans. You disgusting vermin, you destroyers of hope. I saw planets burn. I saw trillions of my own kind die. And I ran, in hopes of finding a better future for those who remained. We battled our way out of Ierdis space, but only a fraction of the fleet remains. Do you, Mr. President, know how hard of a decision it is to leave tens of thousands of your kind behind in the path of oncoming doom because you have no spare parts left and no time to transfer the crew over? Or spending 3/4 of your remaining fuel getting to a planet that looks amazing and then have to tell the remainder of your species that, oops, the atmosphere is poisonous? Humans, you will never know what it is like to lead your fleet to the last beacon of hope, a near-perfect world although too warm, on the last drops of fuel and last spare parts, only to find out that someone beat us here by several thousand years. A someone so territorial that they have fought wars over practically nothing. Our only hope was scaring you into surrender. And we tried, and we lost. Territorial does not do you justice. You would blow up your own planet and everyone on it, just to stop us from having it. But what does it matter to you? You have defeated us with words alone. Goodbye, Mr. President. I will take the fleet to the Trappist system. I believe fuel is sufficient. We will die there, but we will die having walked on firm ground once more. Ryu turned away from the camera, defeated. Wait, Ryu, you studied us for how long? A month. And you didn't think we'd want to help? How many thousands of stories and movies and series do we have talking about peacefully exploring the stars together, only resorting to battle when attacked first? You can't even unite long enough to help yourselves. Look at your nuclear stockpiles. And you look at the fact that we've only ever used 2 of them? Look, we may not be perfect, who is? But we strive to get better. Despite what we do sometimes, the vast majority of us want to live in peace, collaborating to become better and better. Maybe exploring the stars. Collaborating to explore the stars? You can't collaborate long enough to save your own planet from yourselves. You have a point, but we're already collaborating to explore the stars. You yourself mentioned the International Space Station, our most ambitious spacecraft yet. It was largely constructed by 2 countries who were once arch enemies. We do struggle, but we seek to overcome, and I'd say we've done okay so far. Look, Admiral Mew, I can't speak for all these other ladies and gentlemen, and I don't expect full cooperation, as you have left quite a sour taste in our mouths with your quite rude arrival. But if everything were up to me, I would say that we must do all we can to help. As do I, said Putin. The Commonwealth is at your service, said Queen Elizabeth. We may not be friends, but we are certainly not enemies, so we will help however we can, said another leader. There was a chorus of agreement with only a few dissenting voices. How many of your kind are on your fleet? Approximately 7 million. And you said Earth is a little warm for you? Correct. This is not final at all. I have no authority to do this. This will require an international agreement, the likes of which has not ever been seen before, but I would like to propose giving the... What is your species called? Cyric. I would like to propose giving the Cyrics the unclaimed portions of Antarctica. Admiral, does this land meet your needs? It is inhospitable to us, and there are only so few resources there. Nothing grows, but it is cold, so it might meet your... The Cyrics will be forever in your debt. We will never be able to repay you. As far as I'm concerned, says the Prime Minister of New Zealand, you can have most of our Antarctican claim. There may be something we can do as well, said the Prime Minister of Australia. The unclaimed part for sure, though. We will have to go through the legal trouble and prepare vaccines and whatnot, and find out if we can make whatever they eat, but on principle, is anyone opposed to the idea of letting the Serix stay on Earth, at least temporarily? Asked the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. A few leaders voiced concern, but none of them outright condemned the idea. Admiral, how long can your fleet last before needing to land? We estimate 8 months. Well, it's not going to be pretty getting all the vaccines ready for a completely new biology in that time, unless they are different enough that we can cross-infect. But we did it quickly with COVID. We can do it quickly if we set our minds to it. Expect a deal on Antarctica in 1 or 2 months maximum. One more thing, Admiral, asked the President. The Iodis, how far away are they, and how long will it be until we have to worry about them? We don't know. Hopefully never. While fleeing, we entered an unstable wormhole. As such, we have no idea where we are. We only hope that we are far enough away. The Iodis will almost certainly never make it this far. Okay, so we probably don't have to fear them. That is good news. Mr. President and humanity? Yes, Admiral? Why? Why what? Why did you help? Because we hope you do the same. Then what can we do? What could we ever do? If this goes through, you have saved our whole kind. We threaten to destroy your civilization and you respond with love. There is nothing we can do that could ever repay your unconditional, undeserved compassion. Nothing. You said you were good at terraforming, right? With the proper equipment, which we do not have. Well, our planet is in the middle of a disaster right now. You studied us, you know about our climate situation. You want us to fix it? You can. Easily, once we are re-established. And that could also take the planet a few degrees closer to your optimal temperature, so win-win. But this is still nothing compared to what you have done for us. If you're looking for more to give, your technology will undoubtedly work miracles. But, well, if you're still on the fence, consider it a gift. The Admiral broke down into what humanity would later find out was the Seric equivalent of crying. There is nothing we can ever do that could ever make up for what we tried to do to you. You know what you can do for us, Admiral? It will take a while for sure, and the road will doubtless be bumpy. But remember what we said earlier about collaborating to peacefully explore the stars? Yes. Please, if you will, join us in pursuit of that future.